guys, guess what? I messed up on the second part and ended up deleting it. So now I'm just doing a quick do-over and hopefully I can get it all right. So I left off where I think I was over here by the, I call it my little die cut station. And basically it has my die cutting machine, the Big Shot Sizzix, and of course my favorite color. And then we have the stamps and my dies, my Thinlit dies on magnetic sheets that I purchased from Avery Elle, the plastic sheets, and then the magnetic sheets I got at Stamp and Storage. So I have them all right here, and then of course the stamps that go together with the die cuts, I have them in front. And then over here I have my favorite journaling pens. They're Zig Writers. I've had them forever and they have yet to dry out, so I'm really happy with those. Those are the pens I use for all my journaling because I like the way my handwriting comes out. And then I have my Kate Spade little acrylic tape dispenser, and it says "Make It Stick" on the front, which I thought was super cute. And this just holds pens and my little spatula for my Silhouette and my tweezers and all that good stuff. So moving on, I have my Quick Cuts Magpie storage unit. They don't make it anymore. It's supposed to be for the little dies of the Quick Cuts, which I have a ton of, but I use it for my washi, to store my washi in, because I like everything kind of hidden. And then up here I have my great aunt painted this. She used to, when she was alive, she painted a lot of plates, and I actually still have them, and I use them for Christmas time because a lot of it's for holidays. And then I purchased this at TJ Maxx, of course my favorite color, gray, and it holds my wedding ring when my wedding ring is in there and I'm just kind of scrapbooking or just kind of cleaning house or whatnot. It's a little safe spot. And then I have my favorite stamp. I love it because it has like flowers, and then it has the wood grain, and it's big. It's just my favorite stamp. It kind of reminds me of my personality, just very happy all the time. And then moving over here is from TJ Maxx. This furniture, or not furniture, but it's in the like office area, and I keep it for all my enamel dots, and then I have some frames still left. And then here is the remaining spot for all my gelatos. I feel like I have plenty. I definitely don't need any more because I've kind of grown out of now 2 spaces. So that kind of keeps me in check for my shopping. And then coming down here, sorry guys, if you noticed, I'm doing it the right way versus my first half of the layout. But anyways, here is more paper. So this is now the second area where I have paper. And then if you look right back in there, let's see if I can get it over there. Okay, all Scraptastic kits when I was with them in Studio Calico, never even opened them. I'm no longer with either one of those companies. I'm with Felicity Jane. I just signed up with her recently because I absolutely loved here's the scoop kit, which she was actually sold out of, but Jenna is such a nice lady. I emailed her and I said I was out of town. I didn't get in time to subscribe, and I said, anything you have left over, can you please just put it in a pile and send me an invoice? And she said okay. So super nice lady. Here's another section where I have more paper. Again, you can obviously tell I don't need any more paper. I really am trying to just use my supplies. And then over here is my scoreboard, my tool for my Sizzix Big Shot, and then a paper trimmer that I like to use. Down here I have like mats, stuff for my Silhouette, self-healing mats, and a glass mat. And then another paper trimmer if a friend needs to borrow one. I don't have anybody who scrapbooks, but I have friends that like to use the scrapbooking supplies for their birthday parties for their kids, so they always ask if they could borrow mine, and I don't mind. And then more magnetic storage. And then, sorry, it's going to get a little bumpy. Oh, in case you're wondering, because it gets in the way, why I have my paper taped down. Ta-da! This is my husband's stand that he made for me. So, okay, so I could record. Next, plug your ears because it is a little squeaky. I have all of my supplies that I use quite often, like my ATG gun, basically all my adhesive, or any way to attach any type of photos. I told you, my husband needs to put WD-40 or at least tell me where it's at so I can do it. And then next I have sequences, what are, just remaining sequins from, they were like Teresa Collin, and I found some like Studio Calico ones in my stash. So basically I got these from the Dollar Tree, these little containers, and they almost remind me of film canisters, and that's where I keep them in. And then I have just like more fine line bottles, my mats to cut up different sizes, my brayer, all that in there. Oh, my eyelet setter too. And then this I have just adhesive, and my card stuff back there, because I don't make a whole lot of cards. And then my, what do you call this? The EK, like the powder tool to take off the sticky off stickers. And then I don't do Project Life, but I do incorporate Project Life plastic sleeves in my photo album when I have like a big event and I basically want to add more photos of it so that way I can tell my story. So here's all the Project Life that I do own. It was I was with Studio Calico, and then I bought a couple of Becky Higgins that I really liked. And then here's this was from Felicity Jane. Isn't she cute? So here's a scoop, came, and it was a little ice cream, and it held the embellishments. Adorable. Next is more adhesive that I store. And then over here is my third area where there's paper. And this is back when, look how old this is. It was basic gray, and I bought like 2 packages of these. I need to see if I could try to list them and sell them because I only need 1 package. I don't need to buy 2 now of everything. I used to buy 2, sometimes even 3, and I just don't need all that paper. I've got these from Michaels. I definitely recommend them because I haven't been able to find anything else except for what I bought, 10 years ago, the plastic trays I showed you earlier. However, it's made really cheap. The actual tray part barely sits in, and so they collapse, which it has done before, and it wasn't even the weight at the time. This is when I was actually putting everything in and it cracked it. Or actually not putting everything in, I was taking a sheet out and it cracked it, and so they're not the best. In fact, I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. Nah, it's not a good... Oh well. Anyways, it cracked. And then here is my 3rd or 4th, 5th, whatever, of papers, and it's my 6x6 pad. I told myself that if this ever fills up, I am not allowed to buy any. So there's still a little bit of room here and here. So we'll see. Okay, and then going over here really quickly, like I said, this room is a multi-purpose room of scrapbooking, office, and now my storage, I feel like. So I have all my albums of Simply Stories. Every box that you're gonna see is embellishments, and like QVC embellishments. This was an old Making Memories, I think, the foam stamps. And then if you remember, all the acrylic that came with it, the paint, all of that is in here. I bought every single collection, and it still works perfectly. I just have to add a couple drops of water if it's really super dry, and it ends up being fine. So, and then over here I have, like I said, I was making friends Christmas albums, all the stuff that I'm going to put together. Well, not everything, but like paper wise is all in here. And then I have my twine, more embellishments, more embellishments, more embellishments, fiber. And then this last area is the post-bound albums that I no longer, I bought, never used, and now it's going to become presents. And then I made this in a scrapbooking class before my son, actually when my son was born. And I knew I was going to have more kids, so I put it on hold. And now that my daughter's now turning 7, or she's 6.5, but I want to incorporate all of us together. But it's supposed to be like a little family garland. And then next is the very first piece of furniture, if you even want to call it furniture or storage, I purchased to hold stuff, when I first had my scrapbooking room, or when I start off with my scrapbooking room. And it basically just has like my wood stamps And then I have my acrylic tools. I have everything labeled. Sorry, it's in my closet, so it's going to be a little dark. Embossing powders, my mask, and my mixed media, my clear stamps, and my inks. And then I'll give you a little peek, but this is basically supplies from like back in 2000. And you remember the frames? That was me and my big idea frames. And I have like buttons and fiber and bottle caps. And I actually am using those frames for birthday cards now. And then I have just ribbons and just, again, Mod Podge stuff. This, like the very first powder tool to take off the sticky stuff was from, something Grossman. What was her name? Miss Grossman. That is in here. I don't use it anymore though. Modeling paste. And then here's just a ton more stickers. And then these things that I bought that I found out are for clay. But the designer that was using them at the time, I can't remember her name. I bought 2 of every color or collection that they had, and then I find out just recently that it was for clay, so oh well. And then over here is my scraps, and then just one more time, because the very first, like I said, time I filmed it and I didn't know, I had it vertical, my phone, versus horizontal. So I'm just going to do a quick little overview one last time. And then there you see the stand that my husband just built. And over here. Okay. So that's it. Thanks so much, guys, for subscribing. We're patiently waiting for me to upload my scrapbooking room tour. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.